Starting now. This is Real People. Real issues. Real news. Real people.
I'm Stephanie Allensworth, and this is Real People.
This is Real People.
Hi, welcome to Real People. I'm Stephanie Allensworth. My guest today is a really good friend of mine from California. Her name is Sandra K Horner, and she is the owner of the Performance Studio. She is an acting coach and probably one of the funniest ladies I've ever met. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you so much for having me, Stephanie.
You're so welcome. We're going to be so formal now. So you are doing this awesome coaching with actors in California, and
Correct.
You have started this whole, well, it's not new by any means, the Performance Studio, but now you're going out, you've created a troupe that's going out and doing some shows. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, the VA hospital. Yeah, we're very excited about that, actually. My master class, I kind of pick and choose those guys. They're just real special, and they really become like family to me, and they kind of come and go. It's an ongoing class, and you have to go through my 12-week program to get into that class, and then intermediate, so that we're applying what I teach, and then we go into the master class. But what's cool about the master class is we create web series, and we also and the web series become television show ideas. So from that, we have a couple of, I know I'm backtracking a little bit, but we have a couple of ideas. It's called Hotel Hell Inc. I'm so excited about this because I have to tell you a little bit about Miss Stephanie, because I know that you still like to think about writing, and I'm just very proud of you, by the way, Major B Change.
Well, thanks.
You look so beautiful, and I'm just so happy to be here. So thanks again for having me. But anyway, I'm excited because Hotel Hell Inc., we created it. I wrote a pilot. So in the masterclass, not only are we going to be doing performances live, I take the ideas that we have and pitch them. So we have it at CBS and Fox and Warner Brothers and Paramount right now. And so the kids get really excited. I call them kids, but I got people in there that are over 60. So a lot of people come back, they retire, and they're like, I always wanted to be an actor. Mm-hmm. I'm like, come on, if you're serious, if you really want to jump in and learn the craft, let's do it. So I love, for you, just your people that are watching, you're never too old to act, because we always have people of all ages. We have stories with older people. We need grandparents in stories, don't we?
We do. And people act all the time. I don't think they just realize they're acting.
We have to, or we get in a lot of trouble sometimes. We have to sometimes keep our mouth shut or joke it off, right? Or laugh it off, that kind of thing. But back to the VA hospital. Yeah, we just made a call over there at the one on the west side, which is huge. We found out it has over 300 acres that this thing sits on, and that doesn't include the cemetery. Doesn't look that big, does it? I mean, the acreage doesn't look that big. I think the facility looks big.
Yeah.
So we haven't nailed down the date exactly. We're looking at the 1st of December, and we're just going to go in and do some sketch, lift their spirits, hopefully,
Yeah.
And one of my guys in Louisiana is in Texas right now. He's a Marine. He's a former Marine, so he's going to fly out to entertain. And he started talking about Bob Hope, and I just started thinking, I just started feeling so, I feel good about it anyway, but it started to make me feel so even better to go in the vein of, that's some big shoes to fill, my Lord. I'm not comparing myself to Bob Hope in any stretch of imagination, and he just that kind of giving back and just uplifting spirits, hopefully,
So do you see this as something that will be a repeatable thing, maybe other hospitals, children's hospitals, and, because I think there's a whole lot of people that need uplifting in this day and age. So,
through comedy, sure, absolutely. Yeah, we see it. We just have to write different sketches depending on where we would perform. And I want to go to retirement homes and nursing homes next with it.
Oh, sure.
So those kind of people, and there's some places here that have theater stages actually built into these places. So that, so you already got a space to go, and that's what they had at the VA hospital. And now we're moving over to another facility within it. So we'll see where the date settles. But we're hopefully looking for the 1st of December, and to be able to go back, and it'll make us write, because part of the master class is writing too. I want them to write sketches and to begin to, so it doesn't all fall on me, because it used to be a lot.
Yeah, but if they write the sketches, and then you all perform them as a troupe, and I think that's wonderful.
I know, traveling troupe. It's kind of old school, isn't it?
But it's wonderful. It's so needed in this day right now. I think what you're doing is wonderful. So. But with that said, why don't you give us a little bit of your background, how you got started? in the whole business? Many, many years
Oh,
ago in Kentucky.
way back before there was even talkies. Um, I, I started, yeah, I'm in Kentucky. I studied psychology. I did a little drama in high school. If we go really, really far back, I did some drama in high school, and then I really liked psychology too. And when I went into college, I ended up being with psychology one over theater. Then I decided I'd just lose a bunch of weight and be a model after 3 years of college, and then save some money and moved to New York. And then I lived and worked there for 10 years and got into acting and studied with some really great people there. After 10 years, I moved to Minneapolis, right? That's where Stephanie and I have our connection, is through the great city of Minneapolis and St. Paul, our cities. And then that's where I founded the Performance Studio in 1992 and was there for 8 years, 9 winters is how I talk Minnesota life. But I loved it there. Just great people, loyal people, really supportive people, even to this day. Well, that's why I'm here on your show, I'm sure. And then out to LA in 2000 with some people interested in a couple of television ideas we had. And so I came out here to beautiful Los Angeles and been here 19 years and loved it ever since.
Well, you went back and forth as well. You kept the Performance Studio in Minneapolis too, so you were bilocated.
Yes, for a while when I came out in the early 2000s. So then I started doing shows out here, wide variety theater, which was, we would study for 6 months when I was coming back and forth. It was a 6 month because I would only come back and teach on weekends, do an intensive weekend once a month. And it took me 6 months to teach everything I needed to teach. And then when we come out here and then we would perform in front of industry and friends and family, and people would get agents off of the shows. So that was always fun. And that's what I miss. I miss directing. I miss doing the live stuff. And I think actors need to perform. We need to perform in front of people. You can't just get good. You can get good in the class, but we still need that. Got to give that out. We got to entertain. It's just in our blood.
And it's the feedback, right? When you're in front of an audience, you get the feedback, right? So
right.
it's immediate. Yeah, with comedy, it's immediate feedback, right?
Yeah. It feeds your soul. You make people laugh, man. I love making people laugh.
Yeah.
That's why we laugh, Steffi. That's why we laugh.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you were one of the people that I laugh so much with when we're together. It's just always such a joy to be with you.
Well, we have
live and in person. Yeah, we do. Yeah. We tend to do our own little improv shows right there.
Yes, we are our own best audience, is what I say.
Yes.
We enjoy it. That's for sure.
So you want to tell us some more about the scripts and things that you've been working on and pitching and where you're going? And I mean, because you've got like tons of ideas. And maybe somebody in our audience on Skype or somewhere around Minneapolis here will think, oh my gosh, that's awesome. We got to contact her and do that.
Okay, well, let me get a few pieces of paper out here. Okay, let me give a complete portfolio of everything that I have working. Well, so I can talk about the writing and where we're headed with that, and the doors that are open. And I've had your help in doing that, and Melanie's help, and Chris's help. That it's moving forward with television creating, and that's very exciting to me. And I'd like to help other people too. But anyway, that's backtracking. I want to just kind of finish up though, Stephanie, on this live Facebook on the Performance Studio before we move over to HB Creations. Sure. I just want to talk to people about the Performance Studio. It's all Skype, so no matter where you live, you can work with me now. So don't feel like I'm in Minneapolis. How can I work with this woman unless I go to LA? So then those classes I have right now, people from the UK, Vienna, Portugal, Austria, right? So that you can have a lot of fun and people in different markets here in the United States. So you get to learn and you get to feel more global, which is what we have to think of now as entertainers anyway, is global markets.
Right.
And I do a live, as I was telling you before we got on the air, I would do a live class in talent managers for actors in that group every Tuesday at 1:00. And it's like a 45-minute class. And it's free. You just come in. Do you remember Wendy Elaine Wright?
Yeah.
Do you remember Wendy?
Yep.
Well, that's her thing. There's like 57,000 actors in that group.
What? Really? Yeah.
57,000. It's a very supportive, interactive group. You have to be a member to watch me, so just go there, and they'll hook you up. And yeah, and she just said, I really recommend your classes. I remember you from being an agent with Stephanie. So thanks, baby girl. You hooked me up. That just that way, and that's been so wonderful. Just giving out that. I just kind of wet their whistle with it, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to plan to move that into my website, and people then can purchase those classes and hopefully come and work with me live.
Well, besides that, before you go into HB Creations, you also had the opportunity to be a on-set coach for actors, correct? So you want to tell us about that? You spent some time. I don't remember where it was, but yeah.
Texas, down in Texas. We have with Brian Goff. He's a Minnesota actor.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You should get him on your show. He's doing a lot of stuff, Stephanie, and he produces a lot of stuff.
Oh, all right. Brian Goff, G-U-L-F?
I think it's G-O-F-F. G-E-O-F-F.
Goff. Okay, got it.
Goff, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll send you something on him. He'll come on your show, bet. He's a sweetie.
Okay.
It's just that he actually has a Christmas film. I don't know if he's releasing it this Christmas. I'm sure he'd love to come in and plug it for sure.
Oh, perfect.
Plug some of the work he's doing. He's charming. You'll love him. Was that a question? Did I answer your question? Oh, onset coach. What it was about, right? The onset coach is I just kind of defended my actor. I got to work with him a lot via Skype, and we worked on the script, and then we were ready to perform. And he had just started out. I was his first coach, getting him ready for this low budget film that he was helping to produce with Lorenzo Lamas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was the main lead in it, and Brian was opposite him. He was in the opposite whole thing. And I've been seeing he's just improving and getting better, and I'm really actually very proud of him. So that was pretty much it. And then if somebody was saying something about him, I'd just go defend him, basically, and be there for support if something was. Because sometimes you get actors and they paraphrase. And I make my actors learn verbatim. You respect the writer's work. You don't paraphrase. You don't make the words fit what you want to say.
Yeah.
You got to respect the writer. And so when someone would paraphrase, and that's really bad for the other actor when you paraphrase, because they're waiting for their cue line and you're just stopping arbitrarily wherever you're stopping, and they don't know where. So at one point I had to go over to the script supervisor and say, well, if he would say his line correctly, then my client, because they changed his lines up really quickly, my client Brian's lines kind of quickly, and he adjusted really well to it though. But but who was working opposite him would not feed him the line correctly, feed him the cue line correctly.
Oh yeah.
I said, well, if you make him say his lines correctly, maybe maybe Brian would be able to say his. So that was the kind of stuff I did. That's the one story I met. But I met a lot of people. They're very friendly, a lot of fun, and they keep kind of putting out those little great low budget films there in Texas. They do a lot of cowboy stuff down there. I'm working with this one guy who's a cowboy. He's been in several. He's always playing a bad guy, but now he's getting to play a TSA agent down at the border. In this next movie he's shooting this weekend, so he's happy. He gets a few lines, so he's glad about that too.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was kind of the onset. On-set experience that I've had so far.
I'm going to ask my crew there in the other room. I'm getting feedback on my own voice. I'm hearing myself. So if somebody could take a look at that, that'd be good. And in the meantime, Sandy, then let's go with HB Creations, which is actually your writing and producing side of things, right?
Yeah, HB Creations. That's what I came out in 2000 to do. I initially started when Sandra K Horner, which is a production company. I don't know if they're still in business. Do you know, Steph, if they're still in business, Sandra K Horner?
I don't.
I don't either. They produced Cosby, Third Rock from the Sun, that 70s show. So very, very popular. And they called me in Minneapolis when I was doing a sketch variety show there and wanted to know more information about it and was interested in it for a while. And then I formed a writing couple people to write and develop another show idea that I had, and came out in 98. I wish it was her. I love that. And that kind of got the ball rolling of me thinking, wow, they must need television ideas. Let me get out here right now, right this second. Right? You want it to happen that quick. It's got to happen that quick. No, 20 years later, it took me 8 years just to figure out how to play the game. how the game is played out here. And that's what I tell people. You have to learn how the game is played before you can bend or break the rules. And you got to be careful about breaking them, as you know, right? So that's how I got out here. And then through that time, I realized I got to have representation through 2000s, because as a producer, and at that time I wasn't writing, but as a producer trying to sell what we had, I was getting doors closed because it was unsolicited. You have to have a manager, you have to have an agent. So then that's when I developed a way that I call people from the higher up down. And I taught, and one of my students who said, "Hey, Sandy, I'll make those calls for you." And I'm like, "Seriously, really?" Because I'd have to work myself up. I can sell somebody else's product easily. But when it comes to your product, I think I can do it better as an actor. Once I'm in the room pitching, it's a little bit easier as a writer. But anyway, we end up that mock 3D sketch variety show that we were doing in Minneapolis. We ended up pitching. That started to open the doors because it was really unique, and it came out around Avatar, and it was a mock 3D, so people were interested in it here. So we didn't stink up the room, I guess, because we kept those doors open, and then we go back now with just different ideas, and we're just getting closer. TBS we have several alternative ideas now and into sizzle form, so they really like to be able to see. Sizzle is like a little trailer that explains your show idea into like a minute and a half. And so those seem to be working and helping to sell reality. So TBS is holding on to something. There's a lot of shakeups that's going on out here as far as gossip's concerned. You know that Disney bought 20th Century Fox, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Disney bought 20th Century Fox. We had something at ABC. That girl left in a matter of she had the job, and 2 weeks later she was gone. And then you're trying to find out where your project is. Where is it? This was a scripted idea. And then it's just funny how you have to just maneuver and work different angles and say whatever you're doing. But anyway, so with the Hotel Hell Inc. is their new scripted, and I really love it because it takes place in hell. And there's Lucifer and Lilith. Lilith is I shouldn't say too much about that. I'll tell you a little bit. Lilith is his ex-wife who lives in the penthouse of Hotel Hell. So what I say, it's Adam's Family meets the Love Boat, basically, is what it is. Death's in there, and there's a couple couple angels that are good, but Death goes back and forth. Death's a really fun character. Death's in heaven and Death's in hell because it's, delivering souls every day, right? So he's a fun character, and we just base it really on people in class, like what character would you like to play as a web series? And from there, somehow it just develops into actually a series that can, this one did anyway, that can stand on its own. So yeah, I'm excited about it being in different places, but you know what that's like. You still, after you get it there, that's a success. Then you've got to stay on them to read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the thing that I've been working on, if we just kind of take a little spiritual segue here, is receiving. Mm-hmm. I think we get so driven. I know I have for the last 20 years to get a show on television. I don't know how much more driven I could be. And I realized through meditation and through things that I'm not allowing myself to receive. Just sit back and go, okay, have that push forward, and then allow yourself some time. And then I was talking to Chris about it because he gets his lead from me, and he's an Aries. And so he's like that kind of thing. And so let's do. And then all of a sudden, Comedy Central calls us back and, gives us not calls us back, but emails us a really nice email. TBS says they're just putting this right here until they get a leadership and everything settles at TBS. That's kind of where I was going with the Disney takeover. That TBS is having their leadership is changing over there. So they're not that, but it's good they're hanging on to it because he's passed on a couple other reality ideas before that. So it's just building a reputation. What kind of dawned on me a little while ago was just how it took time to build a reputation in Minneapolis. It takes time here. It's just a bigger market to build, and it takes more time. What I could build in 8 years there is different than what takes 20-some to build here.
Right. And in Hollywood, things change so fast. You pitch one person one day, and a week later, they may be gone. As you had already alluded to, it just seems to be so much turnover. Production companies pop up and they disappear in a blink of an eye, and then there's always the players out there, right? The ones you have to look out for that always have a hidden agenda. So. Well,
yeah, but what's been so wonderful, Stephanie, with the Weinstein and all that kind of stuff, all of this stuff coming to a head, it takes that flirtation out of the business, which always confused me. Like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be professional in that, but I'm supposed to kind of compliment him as being handsome, or to do, say something in a way that there was, and there was no, that line was so blurred and so weird. So I'm really happy that happened, and it's taken it out, and we're women and we talk, and it doesn't have to do anything with our sexuality. Of course it does in a way, it's just part of who we are as humans, but it's not the forefront of whether I sell something or not.
Right. It's not going to make the decision.
Right. It's not going to be, the sole decision. And then a lot of times that would fall through, I would imagine, on actors and entertainers who have these people coming on to them from a power position.
So hotel.
But it's happened. It's happened to everybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love the concept of Hotel Hell Inc. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I love it. And I know you can't talk too much about that one here, but what else you got?
That makes sense. What else you got? Well, we have, that's a couple of comedy things. I'm looking at my board here that I have on the wall trying to remember. Oh, it's all over here. Well, Sound Booth I'm actually kind of excited about that. That's a web series that we're trying to get the first season out, and we shot some of the second season. It's a master class, and it takes place in 1969 in the LA music scene, because a lot of my actors could sing. So that's like right around the time your mom would have been living out here.
Oh my gosh.
In Venice. Yeah, because we have a sound booth. The sound booth itself is in Venice, and then we have something like a Tower Records kind of, more of an expensive type of thing that goes on a label within it. And it's a murder mystery, actually. So Johnny, who's like this rock and roll kind of legend guy, is in love with Bobby, who's up and coming. She's got one gold album, working on her second, and he produces her. And he dies mysteriously at the owner of the label at his Christmas party. Everybody's calling it an OD, but it's not adding up to be an OD. So the first season we're doing it as, oh, he's gone, he just died, it was really sad, blah, blah, and how it affects all the different characters. And then the second season actually is a prelude. Is that what it means when you go back? Prequel. Right. Mm-hmm. So then you get to meet Johnny, and he's this really charming rock and roll guy. And so I'm excited to get that edited, at least the first part of it edited, and see how much we can get into the second season.
How many episodes are you putting in a season? Excuse me, in a season?
Like six.
Six,
okay. Maybe 5 minutes long. That's the longest of the episode would be.
Oh, okay. So they're the shorts. The
super short. Yeah, super short.
Okay.
So I'm not actually sure how long a season would be. Maybe 15 minutes or 20. So it's almost like taking a pilot and shooting your scenes and making them episodes. But the difference in the writing is you have to have a little bit of a cliffhanger after each little tiny episode that you're doing on the web series. So that makes it a little bit different, because a pilot can flow a little bit better. Doesn't have to have a cliff. Some of them do in the middle. They'll have a cliffhanger. Oh, what's going to happen? And then that's the commercial break, and you have to come back on paid for TV anyway. So sidekicks, I'm still messing around with, but I feel like I need to rewrite the beginning of it. I think it's too many words, too much description. So I want to get back into the dialogue. And I've been working, and then we have Cook for My Love, which is a culinary dating show, which is cute. We've had that out and around. We have Trisha, which is a documentary series, Trisha on the Plus Side of Life, and she's a plus size model. She's kind of cool. I met her on my modeling gig. She's a plus size model in New York. She has her own clothing line. She's FIT a graduate, and she's Jamaican American, full of energy, Sagittarius, and she's Oprah's pose coach for O Magazine. So anytime on O Magazine, when you see Oprah doing something really beautiful with a pose, it's really beautiful. That was Trisha's pose before Oprah. And I think that's like so super efficient of Oprah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Think about if you could go in a headshot and you have this person wearing this shirt, go in and just do a bunch of shots. And then I go in, okay, like that pose. And that's all I do is those 3 poses versus 250 to get to those 3 poses, you're shooting headshots. So I think that's pretty cool. So we have BET's been really interested in her, and it's trying to move that forward. That gets the frustrating part, in the business, where he's like, oh yeah, I really like it. We have to create with you and really like you and la, 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 la. And then, okay, well, you take the call, and then very friendly for several months. And then, hello, hello, oh.
Crickets, crickets, crickets.
So yeah, we may be biting the bullet and trying to pull on some agents now and go forward.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit bigger and a little bit more connected. Riddle Me This is another reality show we have, and it's comedic based kind of game show, and just a few others. I don't even know about Waiter Wars. So we just try to have reality. We have a reality division, and we have a what am I saying? We have a reality division, we have a script division, and now I'm doing a movie of the week. I'm pulling on a writer that I've been working with his screenplay. He wants Shelley Long to be in it.
Oh,
he loves Shelley Long, and it deals with the homeless issue. So I really think it could be like a Hallmark Lifetime kind of movie that would sit really well. So we'll see.
We're wrapping up. I mean, we got like a half a minute here. So I want everyone to know how to find you. SKHperformancestudio.com. That's where to find you. Sandra K Horner.
That's my website. Yeah.
www.skhperformancestudio.com.
Right. Or Sandra initial K Horner will get you to me as well.
Yeah.
So and you can email me too.
Yeah, well, and thank you so much for being on the show. I got to wrap it up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us and keeping it real. Mwah. Bye now. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. And you can follow us on Twitter. We're also streaming on YouTube, so check us out there. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's free.